Namaste. This video is all about center and why center is so important, especially in this day and age. Why looking and finding and being in our center is really the most powerful place that you can really be in. Hi, my name's Amanda Ramcharatar, and I have been teaching yoga and embodiment and meditation, breathing techniques for over 20 years. And I offered this video as just a glimpse into why is it so important to be in our centers. So, um, over the last 20 years, what I have witnessed, and even amongst myself, is this sense of mm, physical imbalance, emotional imbalance, the kind of inability because we don't have enough information about where our center is in our bodies. And it's quite an amazing thing that this very simple understanding is not prevalent in our modern culture. So, this is why I have felt it is so important from young to old, people to understand that we truly do have a center. And the ancients actually knew about these centers. It's very deeply entrenched into many traditions, especially embodiment traditions such as martial arts, yoga, qigong, tai chi. So you can see these are very ancient wisdoms, and generally it runs along the pole of the body. So just like anything in nature, has kind of a root system, a pole system, whether it's a tree or a plant or a flower, we all have this center channel. So when we're operating in the center channel, our energy flows in a fluid way. When we're not in our center channel, this is when we run into difficulties, and not only difficulties in our physical body, but also our emotional body and our mental body. For example, if you are slightly out of your physical center, you might start to notice like an ache in your hip, or you might notice an ache in your neck or your shoulder. Somewhere along the way, there's a little bit of a collapse that should be a feeling of up. Again, if you think of a flower, there's a feeling of up. There is a growth upward. So when that energy is not quite growing upward, you kind of get these kind of little bit of imbalances that happen. And over time, those imbalances start to have more imbalances. So when you have some kind of discomfort, obviously you're not in your full emotional state of joyfulness because there's something nagging at you. There's a feeling. So sometimes our physical discomfort actually creates emotional discomfort. Now, emotional comfort is another area where you often what happens is that this emotional sense of well-being, which comes from maybe just a nice day, a beautiful walk on the beach, and you just feel at ease. Things are good. It's this beautiful sunny day. But something might happen where you had a little bit of an irritation, you had a little jostle along the way of your day, and then it sits in almost in your psyche, but also in your heart. There's this kind of like something's off. And then over time, again, we hold on to these things that can be a little bit off. So this emotional center, when it stays in this off, then we tend to get used to this feeling where before, and we try to get back to the feeling of happiness, joy, but because we get used to being in a lot of different feeling states, sometimes we miss what is the center feeling, that feeling of calm, sense of relaxation and at ease. So you could say the calm sensation and relaxation and ease really is the emotional center. Now, if we are often feeling a little bit off, this can penetrate into our psyche. So our psychological state starts to become also degraded by this feeling of emotional not at ease. So our thoughts start to take on a different feeling. And it can actually throw off our sense of clarity, mental clarity. So, mental clarity is when we can make good decisions, we can make wise choices. So, instead of you were a little bit off, so we go for the ice cream. We feel good and happy, and we think, let me have that beautiful orange juice or something that feels really like it's going to make us feel on a cellular level. Maybe we don't even think cellular, but we just know, the orange juice is going to perk me up, or the something else, where sometimes we're in this saggy type of feeling where things are not as happy as we want. So we're straight away going for something that's going to perk us up with a different type of nutritional level. So you can see how our feelings, how our body actually impacts the choices that we make. So, this is kind of the reasoning behind what being centered and how important it is for us to stay centered, how it feeds into a truly well balanced life. So, it really does start with this feeling of coming into center. So, now how do we do this? So I've created a quick method, 5 minutes, to bring you into center. This is 20 years of my in depth research, culminating in a 5 minute method to quickly bring you into center, to bring you into the calm, relaxed, quiet space. This is something that you can do first thing in the morning, anytime during the day, and at the end of the evening when you feel like you've spent the whole day out and you just need to come home to inside. This method is a combination of breathing, um, quick focus techniques, and subtle ways of just bringing you quickly back into your center, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I really hope that you will join me for this method to utilize it in your life. And I look forward to offering so much more knowledge about how this is helpful, how it can uplift your life, and it will help get you into that flow, keep you in that flow, so that we're all in the center together. Namaste. And I look forward to seeing you for that video. Bye bye.